wonderful squish.
There's a great squish in 3. I just love when movie characters get smushed. Well,
I think that this squish is superior to Part 3's squish.
Oh yeah, I mean, just the practicality of it, the lack of CGI, the lack of the blood. They built a dummy, they stuffed it full of stuff, man, are there other good smushes? I love the smush in Jurassic Park 2 when the T-Rex smushes the guy on its foot. I should write the 10 best smushes of cinema.
Well, and then head smushes should be their own thing entirely, right?
Like Ricky O, just destroying heads,
and like Vince Vaughn,
destroying
heads.
Bronze.
Even Ryan Gosling gets to smush a head.
Oh man, well I guess I would stick with full body squishes, like all in one. Yeah, all in one. Does that make sense?
Sure. Nothing wrong with a good full body squish. Honestly, you know what else? I think a full body squish allows more people to embrace the humor in it, regardless of the gore. Whereas when it's a head, it's always going to feel meaner, like when a head is getting crushed or smushed. But when it's the whole body at once, it makes it so much farther from reality. I guess it's less targeted. I can laugh at it better. Whereas when I see a head getting squished, I'm like, oh, whoa. When I see the whole body get squished, I'm like, oh.
Yeah, and you brought up Brawl and Cell Block 99 and Drive. Those are two of the most head squishes.
Dude, those are some.
I would say Brawl and Cell Block 99's over quicker. The one in Drive, that's a long head squish.
Are there head squishes in Dragged Across Concrete, which I still haven't seen?
No. Wait, I don't know, man. No, I can't think of a head smush right now, so I don't think there is one. No head smushes. Which is good, man. You don't want to repeat the smush. You don't want to be that guy.
Right. How did you feel about Tony Todd in Part 2?
So, he called Ali Larter's death in this movie. He goes, "There's such fire in you." And at the end, she gets lit on fire, which is my least favorite kill. Right. But he says that. And he's like, "I knew you were coming." He knows what he might. You're right. I think he is death.
Right. In the first movie, it's more like, there's this mystique over him, this kind of like there's a supernatural connection. It's almost like he could almost be an oracle whereas in this, though, even when they arrive at whatever it is, the coroner's office, the morgue, whatever, like there's mist in there this time.
Yeah.
And he comes out of this misty room with the body and the backlighting is red, like he's coming out of hell or something. And he seems to be chewing that scenery even more. In the first movie, he was just chewing it like it was, some oatmeal. You barely need to chew it, but it's not quite soup. Whereas in this, he's chewing the scene like a Rice Krispies treat. Like he is getting in there. He is chomping away. He's constantly got the biggest smile he can put on.
He should have come out with a guitar and just every line he said, like a guitar solo.
Like Euphoria with the flames coming out of it.
He should have just done a guitar solo after every single thing he said.
Wearing a red onesie.
Cheering section.
And whenever someone arrives, he is actively working on someone they know.
Yeah.
And I realize they're coming to him because someone they know died. But it's just, I like these scenes, the ominousness of these scenes. And just, I love Tony Todd too.
I felt the same way about Loki in Thor: The Dark World. Every line that Tom Hiddleston said, I wanted a guitar riff to play because that's what they wanted. Yeah. But no, wait, Tony Todd for Loki. Yeah, let's do that. What do you think?
And then he gave us the new notion right before. In the first movie, he introduced everyone to the notion that Death has a plan, and if you violate that plan, Death is going to need to correct that plan. He basically gave the rules that our characters went with in Part 1. And this one, he now is presenting the new rule that gives people the slightly new strategy, and that is that only new life can prevent death. So we're actually building... It's not really building the mythology, if you will, or the world, but it is still, he's not just there to do the same thing he did before because people like seeing Tony Todd on screen. He's giving us a little something more and a little something different than he did before, while being a little extra sinister.
I want to see what you think about this, because at first they think that it's Isabella's child that's going to be brought into the world, and it turns out she would have lived through the accident, so it wasn't her. So
right.
AJ Cook goes and she drowns herself, and they bring her. Man, I gotta tell you, Dr. Kalajarian, they say that word 40,000 times at the end.
I honestly found that annoying.
Yes.
By the way.
We need Dr. Kalajarian. Where's Kalajarian? Are you Kalajarian? Bring Kalajarian. Dr. Kalajarian.
I almost had a facial twitch when they started saying that the third, fifth, and seventh time. Like,
I should have counted it. I feel like it's at least 15 times.
It's a lot of times. I'm with you. It's more than 6, and all we needed were 2. All we needed was Doctor whatever with a K, we need you in operating room 2. Are you Dr. So-and-so? That is it. That is all anyone needed. Anyone else could have said, hey, Miranda, this guy is coding. You know?
Where's the doctor? Where is the doctor?
Right.
They bring her back at the end, AJ Cook. But the thing is, Kimberly, so she drowned, they brought her back. But in the first one, Devon Sawa's character, he gets electrocuted, and then he's out for a while, and then they bring him back. So isn't that, and then they're still getting killed.
We're going to pretend he had no brain death yet, and that death operates on brain death.
Got it. Yeah, he had some synapses still going. If they just would have waited a little bit longer.
Yeah, maybe it was still a fun gimmick. That's a good point, though. I had never thought of that about the fact that essentially the same analogous thing happens to him. But again, just in the storytelling of it all, like I like the way it played out. And one thing I wasn't super fond of in the sequel, not so much to the detriment of my enjoyment of it, is that in the first movie, Alex, Devon Sawa, has a premonition in the beginning of the movie. Then after that, we go on what Tony Todd tells them, the mortician, right? And when they know the rules. In this movie, we have a premonition, we have Tony Todd, but Kim has premonitions throughout the movie.
Yeah.
And I did not really think that added much when they were also going on seeing the shadows of the hook hands. They had plenty to go with. I don't really feel like this added dimension of premonitions helped anything.
Now, can I ask you a question? I want to see what you think about it, because I have 2 theories that we could go with. In the commentary...
Yes, I do unfairly view people with hook hands.
Yeah.
Now...
In Final Destination 3, I was listening to the commentary with the director. James Wong came back, and then the writer and producer were on the commentary as well. And in that, they brought up, not as canon, but they said maybe some of these signs that they're seeing is something else trying to prevent death from killing people. So the guy sees the hook hands. Why would death be showing people hook hands? But the thing is, once they ran down and got crazy, the lady got stuck on the hooks and she died. So did death show them the hook hands so that they would get that lady worked up and then die? Or is something trying to prevent these kills by giving people premonition? Is something working against death?
I don't necessarily think that, but like I'm going back to what I brought up in our conversation in the episode of part 1. And that's that if there is a sentient death operating in this way, there are probably other things affecting other cosmic forces. And maybe, like the Matrix, there are rules that even govern these cosmic forces. And it's almost like those things that you see could be a glitch in the Matrix, like the black cat double take. It could be something, it could be an artifact where something is echoed or paralleled elsewhere in the world when something is happening or being changed. I don't know. But like, again, maybe other forces are at work. Maybe there is some cosmic force that allows people to divine things that will happen. And now that you know what you're looking for, you can see those things when most people, like muggles, go through life without seeing it. So I don't know. It is a fun point, though, that had they not called her to warn her about the hooks, would anything like that have happened?
They killed Nora. So
they might have. And Nora had a mean death, by the way. I was talking about head stuff, how head stuff feels meaner. When her head is getting slammed right in the doorway of that elevator 3 times before her head comes off, like that just felt mean.
Very mean. And like she started freaking out with the hooks. That guy was creepy, smelling her. I don't know. It was mean, the way her head got pulled off. And then when the lady walked up with the blood all over her, that was another good gag of that scene. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I just kept going.
Oh, and then she said, "Can we please find the pregnant nurse now?"
Yeah, I love that. And then
it was something like that.
And I don't know. It was mean. It was mean. It was drawn out. It was a good head squish.
Oh, and I like the scene. I want to be clear, but I also happen to like mean movies and mean death scenes sometimes.
And then it leads to maybe one of my favorite visuals where Eugene goes into the room and he tries to shoot himself with none of the 6 bullets fire. So Death is like, you're on my time. So the Death can work.
And someone's even like, oh, they were just duds, and the cop's like 6 duds in a row. Basically impossible.
So Death can control bullets, and it can flip out gas pipes. So there must be rules in this world. Like, Death can't just come down to Earth and squash somebody. It has to look like, Death has to make it look like something, right? Because there just can't be smushed people with nothing around. Does that make sense? Or disappearances?
Sure. Well, and I'm going back again to my cosmic forces. If the cosmic forces let themselves be known, what does that do to this world?
Yeah, because I guess yep.
It might create too much disruption. Now everybody is constantly trying to play this game, and now instead of dealing with 5 people every 3 years like Death does in Final Destinations 1 through 3, Death now is dealing with like, oh God, I got these people in New Jersey today. Oh, and these people in Colorado Springs just cheated me too. Like he's got a full dance card. All of a sudden he's got to start a small business hiring other Deaths just to help him in different time zones.
He's getting contractors, and then they're not as good, so then he has to fix what they did wrong, and then that causes ripples. They
demand too much pay.
I mean, if that causes a ripple, he has to hire new people. So you went from having 1 staff member to 7, then you have 48. Is there insurance, pay, rent? Are there otherworldly? Do you have to pay for stuff when you're an ever-present being? I want this movie, John. I'm
just saying, it's like we have our John Wick world with those coins. We still don't know a whole lot about those coins, by the way. Like, a coin gets you it might be like $300 a pour of some rare bourbon, but it also gets you a night in the hotel. It gets you it also gets you like a car ride.
Now, I love Blanton's, but they gave a coin for Blanton's, and then they gave a coin for about 40,000 guns. Or to clean an entire house.
That's what I'm saying. And for like his bulletproof suits, then he actually gave, I think, a couple coins.
So 1 glass of Blanton's is worth 2 bulletproof suits.
But 1 armory worth of guns is 1 coin.
Someone said that there is denominations of those coins, but they throw those coins out willy-nilly.
But the reason we need a cosmic death force is because no matter how good he is, there's only 1 John Wick.
Yeah, I want Cosmic Death Force. What movie is this?
Cosmic Death Force.
Now, what do you think about the suck on my junk biatch kid? And then she goes, "Get out of here."
Yeah,
she grown up that kid. I love that scene.
That didn't need to be there.
There's a few moments in it. See, it kind of made me miss the the niceness of the first one almost. Right? It was, I mean, everyone dies, but they don't have those lines in it.
Yeah. That's true. But I also feel like the people in part 1 were interacting with the outside world a little less. Yeah, in this one, there were more people interacting with more other people, and their deaths even involved other people around, like the dentist and this, that, the other, and the crane operator. And like most sequels, it seems like they tried to move the camera back to get a bigger shot of the world with this one.
That makes sense. They're all over the place.
And I guess with that, some jackasses, we get a bigger diversity of characters. But it's not like there was nothing inorganic about that scene, it's like it didn't really feel like that added anything to it.
That'd be funny if she knocked the kid out. That would have been a good bit.
I think it would have been funnier if she just said, "What the hell are you doing, kids? This, that, and the other," and they just looked at her like, "Whoa!" Like this little, this small woman. She's like 5'3", I think, right? Pushes this teenager with this like stern look, like, "What the hell are you doing? You can kill." And they're just like, "Whoa, lady! Like, take a chill pill," and just walk away. That would have been fine.
She's good. She's believable. Like, I like her a lot. So we covered her in the Resident Evil films too, Ally Larder. She's a good action, physical actor. Like, I wonder why she should do more action movies. I don't know.
Well, maybe the Resident Evils were her share of action movies, though. Wasn't she in 4 of them?
Yeah, I think so. Popping up all over the place. All right, so we've talked about Kat's death. She gets airbagged, and so they get into a car accident, and she gets pegged in, but then an airbag goes off, and she gets PVC piped. What about the death?
I really do love that scene, though. Like, so she's cool. Giving lip to the guy with the jaws of life. She's like, Oh, she's like, can you quiet that down? Like, she's trying to talk to her mother. He says, "Oh yeah, I'm sorry, ma'am. we'll put it on silent mode. Yeah, that would be great. And then wham! And then she eats it.
Kerplow. And then I love how she drops her cigarette, it rolls down a hill, it goes into a PVC pipe that spreads gasoline to a car, blows up the extremely flammable car. And I love that, I think Death made that tree fall on